Hi guys, today we're going to be doing another train with me, but today I'm going to be reading StarStable Reddit threads. I'm honestly not a big user of Reddit. I have barely used it ever. I see Reddit stories on TikTok and stuff, and I know it's pretty popular for other people, and when I actually went in to look for stuff for this video, there was quite a few I think that's what they're called, right? Threads, just posts made about StarStable. So I'm going to be reading some different topics today and comments that people have left about it and give you my thoughts and opinions. We can go ahead and start. Okay, the first topic says, I think StarStable is overworked. I think StarStable is overworked due to the fact that they are still a mid-sized game developer, about 200 employees, but they have so many projects planned that they have trouble concentrating on. I personally think that they should make their game available on Steam or another platform so that they can bring in more players and therefore more revenue, so that they can employ more people and fix the bugs. I also think that they should remove the 3-day star rider since, in my experience, it overwhelms players with quests and might make their experience less pleasant. I do think that with the game being updated every single week, they do obviously probably have a lot of things that they are working on and planning at one time, which I'm sure they have a system, organized. The game's been around for, oh my gosh. Yeah, sorry. I think that the game has been around long enough to where they probably, have that sort of figured out. But, like I said, with it being updated every week, they're probably working on a bunch of things at one time combined with all of the feedback that we give them. So I definitely think some things that they release into the game could have been, worked on more or better. But also I see a lot of people online talking about it'll be a new horse update, and they'll be talking about how they could have focused that energy on main story quests and whatnot, which I get where you're coming from, but StarStable does have different teams that work on all of the different things. The people that make the horses are not the same people making the story quests, Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to remember everything that this comment said, and it's so difficult to read these while training. But yeah, making the game available on other platforms I think would be cool, or maybe just different ways that, the game could a larger audience and more people in general. And definitely I think they have gotten a lot better over the years about fixing bug issues and glitches and stuff like that. So, but it also doesn't help that there are people that play this game specifically and partake in different glitches and stuff, which does not make it helpful for the people who don't do that. And I'm sure there's some people that think having reshade and stuff like that is a part of that issue, but from all the things I've done, or all the research I've done on reshade, it seems like it's pretty safe, and it's kind of, some sort of not glitch, but affects gameplay, but it only affects my gameplay, not for other people if you don't want reshade. Yeah, sorry, that was a lot. The next comment says, I'm not sure why they set the precedent of weekly updates, especially since a regular additional quest takes 10 minutes is not necessarily what I would label as an update for most players. LOL. Sure, over time it makes the game bigger, and when you're caught up, and it's just one additional little thing that seems so meaningless. I'm not saying it's not enough at all. I just think that they hype up the weekly updates to seem overly productive. Honestly, I think monthly updates between best is perfectly reasonable. Oh my god, I'm really struggling. Oh my god, bro, I fucking failed it. Okay, well, starting that over, I guess. The bazaars are nice in between things to check out, but the game is turning into an immediate gratification thing. I used to really only play the game during festivals after I finish all the quests, but they've come up with so many things that kind of incentivize you to play all the time, which probably is at the point that feels most overwhelming. It all goes back to the Fortnite-ification, which is, I'm struggling so bad to read this. Maybe I'm just old, but games did not used to be constant money grabs, being updated all the time. They went at a much slower pace. It is so hard to read these while training, so you'll just have to forgive me. I do like how this person brought up the whole Fortnite-ification, which is funny that they said it like that because it's not a real word. But I understand, this has been something that's I've seen a lot of people talk about more recently over the past couple of years. They think StarStable team has made certain aspects of the game more Fortnite-like. I played Fortnite like one time in like 7th or 8th grade. Not even that. I think it was probably like when I was like a freshman in high school. And I mean, I don't play Fortnite now. My girlfriend plays it, and I like watch her sometimes, but I'm honestly just not big into games like that. But I have like seen the graphics, and I do understand what other people are talking about when they say that StarStable has been kind of Fortnite-ified. I think a lot of people specifically were talking about the new she's like the new Dark Rider. I don't even remember what her name is, to be honest, but like the little girl with the little like crochet like dolls that you see around the map. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? She looks a lot like a Fortnite character, like really bad. So I do understand what people are talking about that. I think she's like the only Dark Rider that really looks like that, at least in my opinion. But I've seen other people talk about like the graphics as well looking like Fortnite. So I do understand what this person is saying in that aspect. But as for like the weekly updates, it kind of went along with the first one that I read, that like weekly like it's a lot, I'm sure, for the StarStable team, like constantly planning on and working on different things all at one time to get out weekly updates. I mean, I don't really mind the weekly updates. I think it's, you know, definitely, like you said, a big incentive for people to log on every week. I think if they did like a bigger update once a month, I think is kind of what this person was saying, which would be a cool idea, but I feel like they would definitely probably lose a lot of people because of that. I'm sure that's a big reason that people log on every week, is just to like see the new update, which, I mean, obviously a lot of the updates are not very big, but it kind of just puts like more excitement and stuff on to new updates. Like, for example, like whenever the winter update was coming out, like there's a lot of anticipation around events like that, and how it's like a once a year kind of thing. Like people get really excited about that. So I feel like if it was like just a bigger update once a month, I don't know, I feel like people wouldn't log on as much, because like some updates really are like so small that like you probably might not even notice if you log on, you know, every single Wednesday to check it out. But I do also like how you mentioned the bazaars and how that's something that StarStable has added. I think that is a really nice thing that they have added in the past couple of years, and like putting horses on good sales like that is really nice. Like one of the breeds that I really like in the game is a 𝙴𝙗𝑢𝑟𝑝𝑟𝑠, which I know isn't like super popular, but I bought like 1 or 2 𝙴𝙗𝑢𝑟𝑝𝑟𝑠 like at regular price, and I have like a bunch because most of them I bought at the bazaar, like all of the colors that I liked all at one time. And I know a lot of people do that with all the different horse breeds they like, so I do appreciate the bazaars as well. But yeah, I do think StarStable has obviously become increasingly more expensive over the years, as is like everything else though. I know a lot of people online talk about like how expensive StarStable has gotten, but like, and I do agree, but in reality, like everything has gotten more expensive. So I'm not really, you know, surprised by it or anything. Okay, the next kind of topic that I went on was, what are your predictions for SSO 2026? It's still kind of the beginning of the new year, so it was interesting what people had to say about this. The first comment says, equipable mains for the horses, pay once and be able to switch them out at will on your horse. I think this is such a great idea, and I really hope that it's something they add this year. It's like basically the same thing with like, you know, our character, like we can buy all these different hairstyles and just equip them as we please. I don't know exactly how like that would work or how they would make that work, but I think that'd be a really interesting thing for them to add. So I like that this person said that. The next one says, this might be random, but I really hope we get like league/festival based competition with prizes up for grabs, maybe once every 2 months. For example, a cross-country race across the whole map, a jumping competition based on time and if any poles are knocked down, and dressage comp, maybe even including special moves, sort of like a 3-day event IRL. I think that it would be so cool. Probably would not happen in 2026, but that would be mine. And save outfit option, which has been confirmed. I think a save outfit option would be really cool. Again, I don't know how they would do that, but I think that's a good idea. I do like this person's idea overall. Like, I think that would be something that would make the game more realistic. I know there's kind of different sides. Some people like how StarStable has the whole magical thing. Some people really just like the realistic parts, which, I mean, I think there's a good amount of like the whole magical side for those people and the realistic side for that group. But I think this would be really cool, honestly. And with this being an online game, like, I feel like they could find definitely, like, I feel like a lot of people would participate in that and be really cool. And I do like how they mention like special moves, because that's something StarStable I feel like promotes a lot with different horses. Like, oh, they do a special move, but like, I mean, it's kind of just that once you reach a certain level with your horse, you do the special move, but there's like, that's kind of it, you know? So it'd be really cool, like with what this person said, if there was some sort of event to kind of highlight that more, because I feel like that's, you know, a really big selling point that StarStable makes when putting out new horses and stuff. So I do think that's a really good idea. And like I said, I think that would be a really big thing for the realistic community. And like, I feel like the realistic roleplay community specifically would like have a field day with that. So that is a good prediction and a really good idea. I have no idea what race to do next. I could do that race down there, but I feel like it's kind of hard to do while trying to train. I'm gonna come up here and trailer to somewhere else. I'm just gonna be basic and go to Moorland. Okay, the next comment is about the 𝙤𝙀𝙆𝙗 Castle, which is actually like the quest coming next week. This was written when I screenshotted it. It was written like 21 days ago, but at the point that I'm filming this, it's probably been like a month. So this person had really nice timing when they predicted this. It says expectations, a somewhat scary, I think the haunted trail ride level scary 𝙤𝙀𝙆𝙗, or however it's spelled. I don't know if I'm saying that right either. Preferably with its own magic horse or pet. The promised updated horses and at least half of all Gen 3 breeds fully retrofit, if not all of them. Well, you guessed pretty accurately with the whole 𝙤𝙀𝙆𝙗 Castle thing, and I really like how they said a special like horse or pet kind of dedicated to that. I think it's a really good idea and would be, you know, really cool. I feel like this whole 𝙤𝙀𝙆𝙗 Castle update has probably been, you know, anticipated by the StarStable community for a long time, so I'm glad that they're doing that. And yes, it is. I put this in my dream updates, but I honestly wish all of the horses were retrofitted. That would be so nice. They also put wishes too, so I'll go ahead and read that. It says a wish list feature, multi/bulk crafting, wardrobe labels, a save stables option to add save slots for stable decor, the return of putting a magic horse breed in description, in return of addition for the missing Gary Goldtooth magic horses to areas or events, literally begging for a /Dorsha return. I don't know if I'm saying that right. More quests in areas like Dundle, Valley of the Dino, New Hillcrest, and fishing quests. I feel like that's an unpopular opinion. The ability to wear multiple decor items at once for the player, the ability to wear multiple makeups or scars plus makeup at once. And I'd also really like a set of horns for the player, but that's really a personal request. I really like this person's ideas. Of course, the wishlist feature. I know a lot of people really wish there was like bulk crafting and stuff. I think that's a really good idea as well. Definitely more quests in the place, like you said, like Dundle, which we did just have another quest there this week, which was really fun. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but Dundle is honestly one of my favorite areas in the game. I'm like obsessed with it, and I do like Dino Valley as well, so I feel like more quests in those areas would be really cool. And I really, really love how this person mentioned having our characters be able to wear multiple accessories at one time. Like right now I have glasses on, but if we could wear like glasses, hat, and like earrings or something all at one time, that would be amazing. I really love that idea. I'm trying to think what else they said. Oh, and I also liked their saving staples options. I think that'd be cool as well. Okay, the next one says expectations are the long-awaited 𝙤𝙀𝙆𝙗 Castle, and I'm really looking forward to new area to explore. Yes, I agree. Wishlist items include bulk crafting in Valedale, all clothing intact, with 2 price levels. Higher price if you want higher stats, lower if stats aren't your thing. Ability to save stable decoration setup so that you can easily switch back to it later. An update of Dino Valley that gives us the option for a home stable and a request to turn the fog on and off. Get rid of the animation every time our horse levels up. The need to click button to level it up manually. Just go back to how it used to be and maybe do the animation where we reach level 15. This person had some similar ideas as the last person with like updated Dino Valley, and I do like how they mentioned turning the fog on and off, like how in wintertime you can turn the snow effect on and off. I know that's something else that's been really talked about in the StarStable community, is like different weather settings. I think again that's something else that would make the game more realistic. And same with the like stable decoration presets, how if you like something you can just save it and then switch it up. I think that's a really good idea as well. And also again with like the bolt crafting, this is a great example because they also mentioned like the horse just like leveling up automatically instead of doing the animation, which I agree. Like I've been focusing a lot on training recently and the animation does get kind of annoying sometimes, I will say. So I do appreciate how they said that. The next topic is things you don't miss about old StarStable. For me, it's how clothes and tech were often outrageously expensive, like 110 star coins for an ugly ribbon for the entire week, or the entire week of allowance for a shirt that had riding level 1 on it. I love how most tack and clothes SSO releases now have max stats and can be bought with 𝙤𝙧𝙝𝙯 shillings, even though they're still very expensive. At least it's easy to make 𝙤𝙧𝙝𝙯 shillings and they don't force you to spend star coins on them. I do agree. Obviously it's annoying how they release some items in the game that only cost star coins. I think they should make it to where everything like cloth and tack wise can be bought with shillings. Like I feel like buying horses truly should be the only thing that we can buy with like strictly star coins. I think everything else, you know, should be able to spend shillings on, because in order to even buy like one shirt, if it's like 9,900 shillings, you basically have to go over the limit and like grind out a bunch of shillings and then buy like one thing. Like that's kind of annoying, I guess. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. Next one says, I absolutely hated only being able to keep 10 horses in your stable at one time. You paid star coins for a horse that you'd have to send another one of your horses that you also paid good money for away, and then they'd become unrideable and unusable and pay more star coins or 𝙤𝙧𝙝𝙯 shillings for the privilege, and the new home stable system is much better. I don't think I was playing StarStable at the time where you could only have 10 horses in your stable. Maybe I was, I don't know, but I've seen a lot of people talk about that, and it definitely does seem like something really frustrating. So I get where y'all are coming from, and I know a lot of other people talk about the whole like paddock situation in your home stable where, you know, if you have your stable updated to, you know, the max, like it's like 18 stalls or something, and then all of the rest of your horses are just kind of in like a folder basically. But it'd be really cool if we could have like an option to where we could like see them, you know. So I do understand what this person is saying. I'm gonna just run to Steve's. I think that'll be our next stop. I never plan on what races to do during training time. I don't follow my route because then I feel like I'd be doing the same races every single video, so I just kind of pick random ones, I guess. But if y'all want me to make a video on my training route or training routes, I will do that. I actually should probably plan on doing that soon. Okay, the next one says, spending star coins to change our home stable. I never used to change it from Moorland because I felt it would just be a waste if I changed my mind later and had to pay again. I also wasted 50 star coins changing it from Moorland to 𝙤𝙧𝙝𝙯 and back to Moorland in the same day. Oh my god, what is going on with my horse? Because I was grinding light and wanted to make it easier for a hot minute, then realized what a mistake I made. LOL. Yes, I do. And what's crazy is that's like a really recent update too, I feel like, is that changing our home stable is free. I feel like they could have done that a long time ago, because I completely understand what this person is saying. Like my home stable right now is 𝙤𝙧𝙝𝙯 because I'm doing like grinding light like they said and doing my gardening, Farah's stuff, soul rider, druid training, and getting caught up on that. So, you know, having my home stable at 𝗴𝘂 is definitely convenient, but like I just really appreciate now how we can change it for free. And even before, like I feel like 25 star coins was like a bit excessive, but I guess we don't need to go down that rabbit hole because it's free now. The next one's really short. It says small amount of races, hard time with farming, shilling, some clothing and tag purchasable only with star coins. Yes, like I was just saying, how you could only buy like stuff with star coins is really annoying. And yeah, I couldn't even imagine like only like being able to like pick from like the same races all the time. Like I really appreciate how I'm able to switch up. Like I have a training route that I follow, but I can still switch it up sometimes if I am getting tired of it, and being able to like do different dailies. Because if I was just logging on and doing the exact same dailies and races every day, I feel like I would get burnt out just so quickly. So okay, the next one says, I remember the new clothing icons feeling off at first, but I really enjoy being able to see what item is where and not having to look through a bunch of gray icons. Easier horse XP when you have many horses to train. 𝙤𝙧𝙝𝙬𝙚 and Starshine Ranch are saving so much time, and being able to change oh my god, I just like flew. Being able to change home stables without paying. And I also really like the updated 𝙤𝙗𝙗 stables. Edit. I also really love the wild horse thing in game now option now, and not a bug. Save so much time. Yes, I used to hear about this a lot. Like being able to like become a wild horse is not always a thing. Apparently you had to like do some glitch where you would like go into the StarStable files and like remove all the pants files, and that's how you would become a wild horse. Like that seems so frustrating. So I'm definitely glad that's an option now. And yeah, this person also mentioned changing home stables without paying, but I really appreciate how they mentioned the being able to train your horse faster in 𝙤𝙧𝙝𝙬𝙗. I've been like really on that grind recently, and the last horse that I maxed, I went from level 10 to level 15 with only just logging on every day and doing the like 3 or 4 races in 𝗴𝘂𝑑ale and just running around collecting light because it gives you XP and stuff. And I maxed my horse that way without barely like doing any races or following any sort of training route. So that's really nice. I really also like how they mentioned the icons changing. The closet before, like just a little pop-up and like having only gray icons was so frustrating and was so much more time consuming to make outfits. I'm sure a lot of people feel this way because literally like the icons were just gray. Like you could see the difference if it was like a jacket or like a tank top, but like that was it. You couldn't see any like specifics, and so the fact that we're able to see that now is so helpful. The next one says, the amount of time it took to train horses back in the day. I returned to the game this summer after years of not playing it a lot. I had over 10 horses sitting at level 1 in my stable, and I felt dread at the thought of training all of them, since I remembered how long it took to train at even one back when I played StarStable more actively. I was very pleasantly surprised to see all the leveling and system changes. Again, I don't think I was playing at the time when it took like a long time like that to train your horses, but I could definitely imagine how frustrating that would be. And I agree with this person in the sense of like a lot of players like, you know, played for a really long time and then took like a couple years off and came back, and seeing all the changes they've made was definitely really big. And you know, it was kind of nice because it just gave more of an incentive to keep playing. Okay, the last one says, for me it's mainly how long it took to save for items. The light things now are so great. I never buy anything other than horses with star coins. I used to throw out so many star coins for clothes and tack. Also the more diverse tack options now, bridles being either with or without noseband was pretty boring. Oh, and I don't miss the stupid things that used to get censored in the chat. So happy that you can write it's 19H instead of trying to spell it's 19 tear or whatever we used to try to do. So glad numbers are okay now. Yeah, I definitely agree with the whole like chat filter thing and it being easier to say stuff now. And I really like how they mentioned again how long it took to save for items. At least now there's like multiple ways to like grind for shillings and stuff. I feel like it could definitely be better, like how I was saying earlier, like when items cost like 9,900 shillings and you like have to go over the limit. But I think if they added like a higher shilling limit, that would make it better too. But yeah, I feel like back in the day it definitely took a very long time to do literally anything, like how people are talking about train horses, safer items, stuff like that. And I also do get what this person's saying. Like I feel like when I was younger I used to waste so much star coins on clothing and tack, and now I try to strictly only buy horses with star coins. Like I was saying, I've been really on my shilling grind and stuff, and I've been able to purchase items with shillings instead of star coins. And even like during the winter village too, I was able to buy a lot of the stuff that I wanted with shillings instead of star coins, which is really nice. But yeah, that is all of the Reddit threads that I'm going to be reading today. There was a bunch of topics on there when I was looking, so I'll definitely probably do a part 2. Sorry. I'll definitely do a part 2 of this video if you guys would like. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys ever read Reddit. I know there's probably a lot of mixed opinions out there, or if you've ever put anything on there or read other StarStable Reddit threads. But yeah, that is all for today. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.